sports lovers, and welcome to another episode of Time Out, the show anybody can watch about sports, stats, facts, and everything in between, from a fan point of view. I'm your host, Charlie, so let's go get this ball rolling. Time Out. Let's talk about some sports. For the three! Basketball edition. How did I miss that? Well, King James and his Cavaliers stabbed and wounded and took down the Bulls with 106-101 victory. And the Rockets blasted the high-flying Clippers out of the sky with a 124-103 victory. Timeout. Let's talk about this. King James and his Cavaliers came into this game ready to stop messing around with this not going anywhere Chicago Bulls. With their swords sharpened, King James told his Cavaliers, "Charge!" And boy did they. With superstars like J.R. Smith making threes like nobody's business. Not to mention the rookie Shumpert helping out the Cavaliers, as well as Irving. And can't forget about the master, the king, LeBron James, showing off his insane gymnastic skills and soaring to the basket every chance he could. King James took the Bulls by the horn and threw them down on the paint, dominating them with a 106-101 victory. The Rockets came into this game pretty much telling the Clippers, there's no problems in Houston, with James Harden, the bearded man, soaring to the basket left and right, not to mention his superstar sidekick, Dwight Howard, slamming dunks so hard into Houston, making Houston have fireworks all night long. The Rockets blasted the Clippers' chances out of the sky yesterday with a 124-103 victory. The Cavaliers came into this game ready to prove to the basketball world that there is a reason that we're still here. With their swords sharpened, Cavs studs like Irvin, as well as Shumpert, and can't forget about J.R. Smith, making threes all night long. Not to mention the high-flying king himself, LeBron James, flying to the basket left and right, soaring over the Bulls and grabbing them by the horns and throwing them down on the paint. With an injured Taj Gibson for the Bulls never really got back from seeing him ejected from the game. The Bulls looked very weak and very tired. If they want to stay in this playoffs, they're really going to have to focus on their defense, and they got to have a big guy underneath the rebound to get the rebound. Especially with Gasol still being out for the Chicago Bulls, I don't know how much further they can take it. The Rockets came in this game ready to prove to the Clippers that you can't get rid of us that easily. With Dwight Howard and the bearded man making threes like nobody's business and finally getting their connection and rhythm right. If James Harden and Dwight Howard and his Rockets keep this up, they'll be slamming dunks and shooting fireworks in Houston all night long. For the Clippers, you guys really need to start focusing more on your defense and really have to realize that these Rockets are striving for the gold, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. What you watching? At 8 o'clock tonight, you have the Hawks trying to swoop in and get a victory. Or will Paul Pierce and his Wizards throw out some magic to stop the birds from taking flight? Tune in tonight on TNT to find out. And finally, for you night owls, at 10:30 tonight, you have the Warriors trying to cook up something spicy and southern for the Grizzlies. Or will the Grizzlies rip and tear the Golden Boy and his Warriors apart? Tune in tonight on TNT to find out. Back in the day. Okay, fellow sports lovers, here's a little history lesson for you. Today, May 13th, in 2011, the Boston Celtics signed head coach Doc Rivers to a 5-year contract extension in the 2015 to 2016 basketball season. Well, that's my show, fellow sports lovers. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to go ahead and like it, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, click the subscribe button. If you want to leave a comment, you can below the video here. Or you can reach me on Facebook at Charles Cowan Timeout, or on Twitter at @TimeoutNow87. Until next time, time out. Let's talk about some sports.